Phillipsburg Town Council meeting, February.
Council Vice President, will you please read the Open Public Meeting Act statement?
This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of February 28, 2024 was included in a list of meeting notices sent to a newspaper of record and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and has remained continuously posted as the required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk.
Thank you. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Skirbo, would you please do the invocation?
Lord, we seek blessings on the task before us. Bless our efforts with clear insight, our deliberations with wisdom, our work with clarity and accuracy, and our decisions with impartiality. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark. Here. Councilman Kennedy.
Here.
Councilman Skirbo.
Here.
Council Vice President Paulus.
Here.
Council President Marina.
Here. Matt, read the bills list, please.
The regular bill list summary as of February 28th, 2024. Total regular bill list is $283,821.67. Total prepaid bill list is $250,464.88, for a total of $537,286.55.
Council, any questions on the bills? I have to look to my right, make sure I don't miss anything. Seeing none, need a motion, please?
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy.
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo.
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Proclamations, Mayor, I understand you have a few to read tonight?
Yes, we do. We have two. Does everybody want to come up with the recipients, please? We have one for Brian and Vicky each, respectively. Vicky, do you want to come up first? You're closest? Or do you? Okay, Brian, would you like to come up? Byron, I'm sorry. Whereas, born and raised in East Orange and North New Jersey, Byron B. McIntosh, known as B, to family and friends, has owned and operated the Chop Shop Barbershop located at 396 Heckman Street in Phillipsburg since 2008. And whereas Byron B. McIntosh founded the Chop Shop with his late brother Jay McIntosh, who recently passed away in February 2022. And whereas Byron B. McIntosh learned the trade from his mother, Audrey Clark Birch, who owned and operated Clark's Barbershop on Hudson Street, growing up, working in the barbershop industry, running errands, cleaning, and learning to cut. And whereas Byron B. McIntosh has continuously strived to foster a diverse, family-friendly, and inclusive small boutique-style shop where individuals of all backgrounds are welcome to relax and interact with each other. And whereas the Chop Shop has perennially been involved in multiple charities, events in the greater Phillipsburg area, including the Firth Youth Center Back to School event, as well as various food and clothing drives. And whereas the Chop Shop is the embodiment of the barbershop as a community hub and gathering place. And whereas it is fitting that Byron B. McIntosh be recognized for his contributions to the town of Phillipsburg during African American History Month by a grateful community. Now therefore, I, Randy S. Piazza Jr., along with the governing body of the town of Phillipsburg, wish to honor Byron B. McIntosh, for his service to the community and to the town of Phillipsburg at large. Congratulations. Whereas Branching Out Foundation was founded in 2015 by Vicki Mendez Branch in an effort to provide much-needed services to children with autism in the Phillipsburg School District. And whereas Branching Out Foundation has hosted autism walks, monthly caregiver support groups, first responder trainings, as well as other specialized caregiver trainings, sensitive Santa events, special needs bowling, and the Phillipsburg Christmas Community Drive. And whereas in 2021, Vicki Mendez Branch opened Page One Resource Center, which satisfied a need for a safe space for newly diagnosed families to be able to locate local resources, offering grant funding weekly social groups, and including caregiver support groups and monthly speaker and trainings. And whereas, in addition to her contribution to the autism and developmental disorder community, Vicki Mendez Branch made history as the first African American elected to the governing body of the Phillipsburg School Board in 2016, breaking new ground and paving the way for greater inclusivity and representation. And whereas it is fitting that Vicki Branch be recognized for her contributions to the town of Phillipsburg during African American History Month by a grateful community. Now therefore, I, Randy S. Piazza Jr., along with the governing body of the town of Phillipsburg, wish to honor Vicki Mendez Branch for her service to the special needs community and to the town of Phillipsburg at large. Congratulations.
You guys look great. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do. Oh, no, thank you. You've done a lot. Thank
you. Again, thank you both. We appreciate everything you do.
I'm not saying, wait, something's not right.
If you want to trade agents,
I'll trade experience.
you'll get no here like I am. Okay, thank you, Mayor, for those proclamations. I'm going to move the agenda around. We have our Chief of Police here. Chief, would you kindly state your name? Only, not your address, just your name.
Chief Robert Stutton, town resident. Give me 1 second here. Some paperwork out, please. Talk about a few things tonight. What I'm handing out here, this is some information for the council on sound thinking. At 3:30 p.m. today, we went live with our shot spotter technology. This kind of gives you guys a reference guide, ladies, sorry, to go by. I'll forward an email to you, Council President, probably the next day, where there's some email addresses and phone numbers if you have any inquiries. Maybe people will handle that. So at 3:30 p.m. today, we began our use of the shot spotter technology, which it detects gunshots in the town of Phillipsburg. The advantage for us with that from a police department standpoint is if we get a call for shots fired from dispatch, we're 4.5 to 5 minutes behind. That's the statistics. We'll get this information within 60 seconds. We should never get a call from dispatch for shots fired. We should be getting it first. Our guys will have it on their phones. They will get that alert. It's going to give them a real good location of where it's at. I know we've had some inquiries recently about people see some trucks around town putting some stuff up. We're not going to confirm whether or not it's shot spotter technology. Companies like to protect their stuff. They pay for that stuff to go up. If it gets broke, they got to come out and fix it. They don't tell us where it's at. We don't know for sure. We get a pretty good idea because people call and ask. We take a look and say, yeah, it probably is. So it's a big announcement. I think the town should be really proud of. Me and the mayor talked about it on Friday. Tonight was the night. It actually worked out perfectly. We were having a council meeting and we went live at 3:30 p.m. Many of you know me. I do believe that technology is the future of law enforcement. I think that, the more technology-based you can be, the better off we'll be. So going forward, we're gonna keep milking you guys for that money. For that stuff. Coming up in the next few months, really, you're gonna see a lot more walking patrols. We're healthy as a police department right now, so we're gonna get back to getting our boots back on the ground. So, I think that's a step in the right direction for us. Guys will be assigned to their neighborhoods. If anybody has any questions about who might be their neighborhood officer, if they haven't gotten to you in the next few weeks, just call up. We're working on a solution where it'll be accessible to everyone, but we're not there yet with that. We'll make that announcement when we get there. But if you have a question, if somebody calls up and says, I know Joe has questions, but you want to know who your community policing officer is, you shoot us an email at police@pburg.org. We'll get back to you. We'll let you know who it is with the officer's email address. We do think that residents are hesitant to call police at times. We do believe that when we set up these groups, they're more comfortable if they think it's not something worthwhile calling about, they email that officer, and that officer gives them an answer, and they get to a better solution with that. So you will see walking patrols in the near future, now that we're really healthy. And the last thing I would say, and I mentioned this with the mayor, one thing we're going to urge everyone, call police. If you think something's wrong, we don't want to learn about it from another avenue. There's plenty of times where someone will tell us that, did you see on Facebook this happened? And somebody's on there talking about an incident that occurred that we weren't even alerted to. You see something, say something. Call. If you don't feel comfortable and you want to remain anonymous, you tell them, I want to remain anonymous. We abide by that. We're never going to throw somebody out at the end of the day, it's your right to testify or do any of those things. But the more information that we can gather, and our residents are our best resource, the better off we're going to be as a police department. So that's my report for tonight. Council President, if the council has any questions.
Thank you, Chief. Here's my policy. I do not throw any town employee under the bus. If you want to speak to them, you give them a call, find their phone number, or go on the website and notify them. Especially the police, nature of their job, and I don't want them to say anything that would jeopardize them. These guys do a great job. Council, anyone wants to ask the chief of anything, you're free to do so. Just take your time and ask them.
I have something.
Yeah, Councilman.
Do we have a time frame on the camera system that's going to be going in?
It's the next big ticket for us.
Okay.
We were on the phone today actually making phone calls to get everything. I mean, we do have cameras, but to get us where we need to be, I mean, the money's been allotted from past budgets. It needs to get done. We're at the mercy of the company right now. That's what's holding us up.
Okay. If I may,
Go ahead, Councilman.
Is there anything that council can do to help expedite that? Maybe a letter to the company, anything like that?
No, not at this point. If there were, we would ask. And we'd let Matt know.
Councilman Skirba?
You good?
Yeah, I just have one question. So the police report that goes online that you guys post I think it's every 2 weeks or every week? Monthly, okay.
Yes, monthly.
When it says other, what does that characterize that?
That would be your tail light tickets, any equipment, stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman?
No, I'm good.
Chief, thank you for coming in. keep your guys.
And as I said, there is more
Good.
information for Sound Thinking if anyone's interested. They do have representatives who will speak to governing bodies so that you have a full gist of what's going on. I do think it's important for everyone to know what does go on with that. I mean, ultimately, you're the people who make the decision on whether or not we spend money in the future. Luckily, this project was all done through a grant. So the taxpayers really, we benefited on this. But going forward, if you don't know all the answers, it's not going to give you a good answer. You're not going to have good guidance moving forward if we decide to go further with it. But thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Chief. And like the Chief said, anyone wants to contact them, contact them. And if you see something, say something. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Skirvos, you're a gentleman here yet?
Yes, Mr. Henry's here for the presentation.
Sir, come up and give us your name.
Should I connect somewhere or?
This is about a disc golf course proposal?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have to check the black file there? I didn't know that. No worries.
Do you know after the Super Bowl, they were down 538 points? It's 17. Okay. To show you how the council works, they suggested that we move the habitability hearing now. So can you Wait for us, sir. What's your name, by the way?
Justin Henry.
Justin? Okay, Justin, if you don't mind us, thank you, council. See how we can work together if we really want to? You gotta have a little fun once in a while, not too much, but, okay, council. We have 475 again.
Thank you, Council President. Pat?
Yeah.
Get behind that curtain, kid.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so this is the continuation of habitability hearing 475 South Main. It's block 2003, lot 12. We last heard this matter in December on the 19th, and it was renoticed for today, really just for a status update. At the time that the council last met, if you will recall, much, if not everything that was requested of the homeowner had been completed. Pat, have you had a chance to look at the property recently?
I did get by today to take a look outside. It seems to be that the progress is about the same as it was in December, unfortunately. I had hoped that Mohammed would be here today to talk about it. Where it's at is that the renovations for the interior, the plan review failed for that. And that would be to replace the floor joists that are going through the first floor. They've all been removed, and that's where it's at now. And there's no change in status on that. The work for, they did fix up the outside a little bit and put a deck on the side, and that is passed and a certificate issued.
So, do you have any recommendations for the council regarding this property moving forward? Should it relist it for a shorter period of time and issue an order directing the property owner, Mr. Ganem, to resubmit plans for the interior, specifically with the joists?
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I think that would be a great idea.
And do you have an opinion as to what is a reasonable time for that to occur?
I don't see why a month would be like plenty of time.
Okay. And again, this is just for clarification, this is just for Mr. Ganem to submit plans, passing plans for the interior renovation work, specifically the joists?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a motion from the council to that effect. We can issue an appropriate order.
Any questions, council? 30 days, no longer. I'm a new judge. Okay. We keep waiting, the house will be older than most of us, well, equal. Hey, Pat, 30 days.
Yeah, you got it.
And we worked with them quite well, so we'll agree to your recommendation of 30 days. But just tell them the weather's getting nicer, let's get it done. Thanks, Matt.
Can I just get a motion to that effect?
Oh, motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy.
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo.
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Justin, you're on.
Council President, Council, thank you for having me today. My name is Justin Henry. I'm a resident of Phillipsburg, particularly Delaware Heights. And I come today to actually go over a concept design proposal for a disc golf course on the backside of the Delaware Heights Recreational Park. Some of the elements that I'll be discussing today are listed here, full table of contents, and I'll be able to share this out with the council and anyone else who's interested after this meeting. But basically, from a high level, disc golf is more than just a game. It's a fun recreational activity that gets people outside, it gets people energized, and quite honestly, it's free, which is awesome compared to any other sport out there. I'm not going to read off this quote, but you can find a lot of inspirational quotes when you look up disc golf, and it's just a general fun activity that I think would benefit this town. Going over some of the data points, disc golf is a rising sport. It has an increasing number of participants year over year as technology actually finds it and it builds upon the sport. Some notable data points here: there are 14,000 courses worldwide. There were, on average, 4.3 new courses installed each day in 2022. And that number has just statistically risen year over year, so it's showing signs of becoming like the next big paddleball sport. And we know how big paddleball is these days, or pickleball rather, so. So I can kind of bore you with all of the details of it growing and becoming this key next big sport here in the United States, but I won't do that. What I am going to kind of go and focus on in my limited time here is the space and the opportunity. So those familiar with the Delaware Heights Recreational Park, it has 2 baseball fields, 2 soccer fields, and a lot to the back of the park itself that is currently unused and has a nice wooded area, as well as several lanes that are pretty much ideal and built already for a disc golf course. This is unutilized land. This is land that is kind of in disrepair and could be really beneficial to the town, as well as bring in potential commerce from people participating in the sport. So there's a lot of benefits to adding a disc golf course, not just the ability for people in the town to get out and re-energize themselves, participate in the sport, but also bring people from neighboring towns, neighboring states into a new area to play an enjoyable outdoor game. So just again, recapping some of the benefits here: full body exercise, weight loss, improving heart health. It's an energy booster, a stress reducer, and gets people outdoors. The site and scope. So from a quick Google Maps view, we do have about 7.5 to 11 total acres back in that area, which is probably just about what you need for a 9 to an 18-hole course, depending on how it's laid out. I have some ideas, obviously, but there's also a lot of people who have a lot more experience in this sport than I do. I'm simply a recreational player who spent a lot of time this past summer getting into disc golf, if you couldn't tell. The actual site itself, this is what we're looking at here. So right behind the soccer field, closest to Carpentersville Road, there is multiple avenues into that backfield already. There's that wooded section. There's actually a berm that runs along the highway side, creating a pretty natural barrier for another lane or another disc golf hole. So ideally, the land is already cut up to fit a disc golf course quite perfectly. It just needs to be added to the Department of Recreation or the Land Use Committee's awareness, so that this could also be taken care of, and you can build out the proper lanes and the proper holes for this disc golf course. So existing conditions. On top of that, it has the parking lot already there, so there's places for people to park. There's a stand potentially for upselling discs, upselling of snacks and beverages, creating a small hub for not just the Delaware Heights community, but again, for the town itself. Also, something else that's worth mentioning is that the town of Alpha is putting in new condos right on the corner there, and it would be very appealing for a younger community to have something like this basically in their backyard. Operations and programs, there's a lot of opportunity for us to develop this into both a potential high school recreational opportunity, as well as creating programs for the youth to participate after school and do other activities in this budding community. So breaking this down, some cost metrics, and mind you, this was done in November of last year, so things have gotten a little bit more expensive with inflation. But generally speaking, building out a disc golf course is very cost effective for what it provides to the community, both again from a sports context as well as a commerce perspective. But you're looking at anywhere on the very, very cheap side of things, around $3,000 for a 9-hole course. I would suggest, potentially doubling that, because you would have less maintenance over time, paying upfront for better equipment, better stands, that sort of thing. But if you were to really do it on the cheap, that's literally the requirement. That plus the land, which marks it down to around $300 a hole, thereabouts. And like I was saying, additional opportunities. So with something like this, something sports related, something recreational, something additional to this town, you do have opportunities that come along with kind of the disc golf community. That's a love of beverage, a love of fun and other opportunities that go along with it. So you could start building out, restaurants, bars, whatever it may be in that area that would also go hand in hand with this kind of free outdoor sport. A lot of times you do see breweries kind of participate in this, and that might be a cool opportunity there. So next steps, I just wanted to be here, speak, raise some awareness about it. I think there's an opportunity to build a team potentially, maybe fundraise, obviously design the course, clear the land, build the structures, and then go outside and have some fun. So that is my presentation and disc golf proposal for the council. I appreciate your time, and I'm open to answering any questions.
Thank you very much. Before I open up the council, it's very great to hear something like that, get the kids involved. And those apartments are in Powhatan, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It's split, all right?
Interesting.
Alpha doesn't benefit from this. We'll start with Councilman Clark. Any questions?
So you actually answered a number of my questions. So first of all, I love disc golf. I played a bunch back in college. It's one of those sports that really brings in a younger generation, keeps us active. And you're right, a lot of industries like breweries really build around that, because you can do a lot of things like disc golf tournaments. Younger people or young professionals such as ourselves do it for hobbies because it's a great way to network and meet people. So it's definitely something positive. You also answered my question regarding the space needed, so about 7.5 to 11 acres, which sounds about right for 9-hole course. So I guess my one question I do have is the land itself, is it Green Acres encumbered? Now, I don't see this being a problem if it is Green Acres encumbered because it is a recreational sport, but from our end, we may have to do a little bit extra paperwork if we wanted to move forward. So is it Green Acres encumbered?
So,
Mayor.
we're not 100% sure if it's Green Acres encumbered. When I think 2 previous recreation directors ago, DJ Kofese and I walked this piece of property looking at putting something like this. Believe me, we didn't do nearly as much work as Mr. Henry did. We only initially walked the property with the idea of that maybe being a good spot for it. And he seemed to believe at the time that it was possible, but that's the only information that I have at this time for that.
Okay, I would just recommend if we do move forward, we should just find that out. Like I said, I don't think Green Acres would say no to this because it is recreation, but we would have to just tell them that we would be doing this. We just don't want any problems in the future. But that's my only question. This seems like a great project and it would mesh very well with what's going on with the pickleball courts and then how Ripken Field is at that. So.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for the presentation. Of course. And I'm in favor of anything that brings another recreational activity to our community. So very interested in it, and we'll see how it goes.
I'd love to hear that. Thank you.
Council.
Thank you very much. That's a fantastic presentation. We did talk in the past, and I think you have a lot of great ideas, and you'd be an asset to the town. And hopefully you'd be interested in joining our Open Space Committee or the Recreation Committee when we get them up and running.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilman.
I just want to thank you again, Justin, for coming, taking the time out of your night to present this to the town. If you talk to some of my college roommates, they would say I probably spent more time on the course than in class. I'm excited to see this. I'm very excited for the kids and the community. This could really get people outside doing things again post-COVID. I know there's not a lot for us to do here in town. Again, I appreciate you coming, and I think this is definitely, you're an asset to the town. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman.
Yep. Mayor?
So, yeah, I just want to thank you for coming out. We've had an opportunity to speak on a few occasions. I'll just echo what you said. A lot of people do travel for these courses. They're looking to play different courses, have different challenges, and seek unique, I guess, holes.
Yeah.
I know the area's pretty ripe with courses. Harmony had just put in one last year. Easton has one at Hackett Park, which was curated and designed by a Phillipsburg resident just recently. He runs tournaments, people show up there in droves. And it's maintained, their parks department maintains that park, but they take extra care when they show up at their course to make sure that it's well kept maintained, and if anything's broken, they see that it's fixed immediately. So it's a community that does care about their, just saying, about their courses, and it's the type of recreation I think we're looking for here, and I thank you for doing all this work, because I know you put a lot of work into it. I agree. Thank you very much.
Okay, Justin, I agree with everybody on here. You know, until the Open Space and Recreation Committee and the Recreation Director and the administration get a hold of it, this is great. Anything for kids, all kids. I don't care who they are, what they are. Anything that we could do to help the kids in this town is a benefit. Instead of them going to college and don't come back, we've got to keep them coming back. And we changed. Great presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Council.
All right, moving on. Public discussions on agenda items only. State your name, sir.
Don't mind. It's just a question. With my glasses on and a book.
Take your time, Joe, and up there does well.
Thank you. 2024-34. I got the general idea. I'm not sure exactly where Brainerd Street Park is.
Right behind where your cousin had his office on South Main Street. Go up Tyndall Avenue, go to Randall Street. There's a little jug handle that takes you to Brainerd Street. And it was houses that were ripped down. Okay, it's a parking lot on the odd side of the street.
So that it's ripped out.
It's gutted out. It looks like a junkyard right now.
That's what that takes care of my.
Is that a pretty good description?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's sort of in the
It's in the middle of the block.
Yeah.
From Tyndall Avenue to Hudson Street Hill.
And the other thing is there some kind of rough plan in mind? Because you're starting a condemnation procedure already. I mean, and if so, just tell me what it is.
Who do you want to rip down?
I don't want to rip down anybody. I don't do things like that.
Okay. But well, is it on the agenda? You're only on the agenda now. At the end, I'll let you talk more.
No, I don't want to talk more. I'm just asking. There's got to be somebody has some idea what they're going to do with this.
With the parks?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll let Tim answer that. Okay, the engineer.
So the resolution in consideration for Brainerd's Park is the park that's located, if you take Hudson, going up the hill, you make a right on Brainerd, and it's right next to the rail track.
Oh, I got the other end. I got the other part. Excuse me, Joe. He's on the high side. I was on the low side. Yeah.
So right now there's what was a swing set or swing structure and a half basketball court. The grant is seeking funds through Green Acres for Jake's Law, which is accessible, inclusive park for all ages. We previously were approved to apply to install new playground equipment, shade structures. The state, in reviewing the application, has asked to include restroom facilities in there. So the resolution's approving the amending the application to increase the budget by, I believe, about $150,000.
That was my fault, Joe. I brought up long ago about the other part that has to be cleaned up. Thank you, Tim.
So this one is
part of it would be funded with state grants. The other part would be funded with additional bonds or loans from the state.
But it's very much like the kiddie park I might have gone to when I was a child. Swings and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it would have your typical swing slides. There will be a passive trail that gets you into the park. There will be benches and seating so other users can sit and enjoy the park or watch the trains go by.
It will be in sight of the train.
Yeah, there's just a 4-foot chain link fence that separates you from the trains. There's also a little bit of embankment, but there will be a restroom building. That's what they grant the amendments adding, and there will be shade structures incorporated into the playground area.
Is that on the walking trail by any means?
I mean,
or near enough?
Well, it's Hudson Street, so the walking trail is just on the other side of South Main. So if you end up
all the way up and down the hill. Though.
No, I mean, the future rails to trails will be the South Main side of the river. So if you just leave the park, go to the light that's at South Main and Hudson, walk behind the gas station, head over to the train excursion, and you're on the trail.
And looking through here, in worst case, it would cost us $500,000. Because, and maybe wouldn't cost us that if I read this stuff right. Is that about right?
Tim, can you answer his question, how much?
Yep, I'm just gonna pull up the figures to get it right.
I wasn't very good at math.
Well, there's only one thing, somewhere in here it said, the applicant agrees for its matching share of the Green Acres funding request. That's us. If a match is required in the amount of up to $500,000.
Yes.
So we have a max out number
Correct.
after that
There's-
for Phillipsburg, and maybe it's nothing.
So it's a grant application, so we're applying to seek the money. There's a maximum grant amount of $750,000. The state said to be eligible, you potentially have to have a match, and you need to add restrooms, so we had to increase the line item. If you're approved, the state will tell you how much you're getting and how you're getting it. You can accept or deny, so you still haven't spent any real funds on the project. And then once you accept the money, then you can tailor it to work with your budget. And to accommodate what the grant requirements are. So you have to build a restroom, and there's a certain number of accessible, inclusive features that have to be provided, certain age range.
Tim,
So then you work backwards from there to minimize your out-of-pocket.
Tim, one question. Joe, you brought up a good point there. Are they going to put a fence there? Because right now, the biggest problem when the kids come off the hill, they cut across the railroad tracks. And the school district has been aware of that. Will there be a fence put up where they can't get out of that playground area?
So
and
this
cross-
park is already fenced in on nearly 80% of it, although the fence needs repairs. So
Yes.
when you get the money, you can amend, adjust what you put funding in as long as you meet the minimum requirements.
But you could use that money
You
for
should have
fencing.
sufficient money to put fencing in if you desire.
Because if you're at the O'Donnell Apartments there, you will see them run across those tracks. Very dangerous.
This is a bit up from that, so there already
Yeah.
is fencing in the park here.
There used to be the playground for Seagrave School.
When
Many-
built, it
many
should be
years
very
ago.
active.
Okay, any other questions, Joe? Good points.
Well, I like the idea of us railroad freaks being able to see the train sort of safely up close. And it looks like that's the actual possibility that could occur in this park.
Yeah, if you go there today, I mean, if you went to the fence line, when you come into the park, it's right at the end of Brainerd. To the right side, it's envisioned to be a path, either at least 5 foot, but maybe 8 foot. It really depends on.
And you'd make
how
it
much-
safe for us.
It would be accessible, yeah. It would be flat, accessible, so there's no tripping hazards. You'll be able to get there. There should be some green space in there that you could set up a picnic chair or table if you wanted to and enjoy your afternoon in the shade. There is some existing tree canopy and vegetation between you and the tracks, but when we're out there, you can definitely see the track lines clear as day.
And I was a little confused on the answer to, I was thinking it was going to cost us $500,000 maximum. But after your explanation.
That's potentially the out-of-pocket part, which the state fund potentially will fund through a 20-year bond at 0%.
But it would still be our $500,000.
Right.
We'd have to
It's
borrow,
money that-
we'd have to
you're
put
borrowing
back the
from
bond.
You're borrowing from the state to pay back at 0%. But you control how much you spend once you get the money. So you can meet the requirements of the grant, you control what you spend.
Okay, I just want to know that maximum number though.
So it's out to bid by the governing body and authorized. The exact dollar figure is not set. It's just for the grant application. You have to tell the state what you're targeting.
And we're telling the state that
We're seeking the maximum amount of grant money.
Which is?
$750,000, and then to cover all the additional items they've had that are needed, it brings it up to $1,250,000.
for us. So this
$500,000 out of pocket.
$500,000 is, I get,
$500,000 you're gonna borrow, that you have to
Okay.
repay over a 20-year period. $750,000 you get as a grant that does not need to be repaid.
okay. So we are only risking $500,000 and it's just on a bond that,
Okay, Joe, what we can
It's
do,
paid.
Tim,
I
can
think
you
I
reach
got
out
it.
to Joe?
Joe has my info. He knows
Okay,
where I'm at.
this way, you guys can go right down to the penny. Thanks, Joe.
I got it.
Okay, you got it? Thank you, Joe. So he'll reach out to you, Joe, we heard it now, okay?
He doesn't, I got it.
Okay, good. Any other public discussion on agenda items? Name?
Hello, David Morissette. Address rescinded by order of council.
Thank you.
So, I just had a look tonight, so forgive me if I'm not well prepared, but I'm
Everyone's welcome at a public meeting. Go ahead, Dave.
even if I'm not well prepared. So there's an ordinance 2024-04, and it's regarding the Open Space Committee and getting it active again. And I actually have agreed with some of you up here. I'm kind of mystified why the Open Space Committee wasn't meeting before. The only thing I can think about was it may have had something to do with politics, but I'll stop there. So in ordinance 2024-04, I do have some questions, or I guess one question. So there were members of the Open Space Committee, and I think the Open Space Committee is kind of like the Land Use Board. The terms kind of like overlap. Some people have terms that last longer, and then not longer, but they overlap. So it's my assumption that you currently have members that were duly appointed to the Open Space Committee whose terms haven't expired. And additionally, they've not neglected their duty by incompetency or inefficiency. They could probably still serve because they're not incapacitated due to mental or physical disability. They have not misused their or unauthorized use of authority. You can't say they're chronically absent if the group didn't meet. And they haven't failed to cooperate with members of the committee to the detriment of the operation of the committee. And they haven't demonstrated a lack of professional skill, discretion, or attitude. So there's no cause to remove them. It reads in here like Ordinance 2024-04 is going to remove the duly appointed members of the Open Space Committee. In one of the whereas, it says to reconstitute the committee. So I'm looking for clarification. Am I wrong in my interpretation? I have to believe that you wouldn't just get rid of all the committee members that were appointed in due standing. Thank you.
You want me to answer that? Sure, so I can answer that, Mr. Morissette. You're not wrong in your belief that that's what this ordinance will do if adopted. So the four clause instances that you read there are not currently in the existing ordinance. And as you noted, the Open Space Committee did not meet, for whatever reason, for a period of some time. So we had no way of removing, we didn't want to remove certain members but not others. There was no removal mechanism. So the cleanest way of doing it was to dissolve the board and reconstitute it, and in doing so, amend the ordinance to provide for a for-cause removal mechanism in the event that going forward, we do have members that aren't meeting, that aren't doing their duty, or whatever I think there are 5 or 6 enumerated instances of for-cause. There's a due process provision that's built into this ordinance as well, if adopted, whereby if a member is sought to be removed, that member will be provided notice and an opportunity to be heard before this governing body, and then the governing body will issue a decision as to whether to remove that member. So that was the cleanest, that was what I felt was the cleanest way of accomplishing the revamping of the Open Space Committee.
So, but there are members currently, prior to this ordinance,
Yes,
that are on the Open Space Committee with unexpired terms, is that correct?
that's correct.
And so this ordinance is doing the right thing, saying that you have to have due process to remove a member, correct?
Correct.
And now you're
Going
removing
forward.
people without due process.
Well,
Isn't that,
we're not removing some members, we're removing all the members and reconstituting the board. So
And some
that's not to say that existing members won't be put back on the board. It's just the terms that some members were appointed to, 1, are unknown, and then 2, the inability, for whatever reason, of the Open Space Advisory Committee to meet. We thought that this was the cleanest way of starting afresh with a new committee with due process provisions built into the ordinance.
So you're saying there's no way to figure out what the current members of the Open Space Committee, when they were appointed? There's no way to figure that out? And I assume that their terms would be a fixed term, is that not correct?
They should be a fixed term, correct. The roster that was provided by the administration through Ms. Turner, and she says in her email, she's unsure of when these terms actually expire. So let's just start afresh, reconstitute the whole board, reappoint members with definite terms, and with a due process removal provision in the ordinance.
Okay. Thank you. I won't make, it sounds political, but I thank you for your time.
Anyone else in the, yeah, I thought we were here until 9 o'clock. Okay, no one else from the public? Okay, hearing none. Ordinances. For the first reading, ordinance 2024-04, an ordinance of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, deleting and replacing Chapter 93, Open Space of the Code of the Town of Phillipsburg. Council, any questions? Any comments? This is only for council. The next reading will be for the public, the second reading. Hearing no comments, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark.
No.
Councilman Kennedy.
No.
Councilman Skirbo.
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
I'm voting yes, and I'm going to tell you why I'm voting yes. This is an ordinance. An ordinance is a law. They haven't had a meeting in over 2 years. So we're going to do it the right way by a current ordinance, and so therefore everybody will know who has the term, when they expire, and when they were put on. I tried to get a copy of that list. You can't. You just got the new ones that were put on in the month of October and November of the previous year. So therefore, that's why I'm voting yes, because I want to go by the book and by the law. So it's a yes vote. Okay, moving on. Total, please?
3-2.
3-2, thank you.
Motion passes.
Put that on the record, please. Ordinance 02024-05, an ordinance of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, amending various sections of Chapter 422, Parks regarding the use of parks and other facilities. Council, any questions, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hands up, roll call, please.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy.
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo.
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Okay, moving on to resolutions. Consent agenda. Anyone, any council have any questions on any of the resolutions? Seeing none, motion please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call please.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy.
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo.
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Moving on to old business. Any council have any old business? Seeing none? Any councilman have any new business?
I have one thing, Council President.
Go ahead.
So regarding the resolution for the open space, there's something that was left out I would like to explain a little bit more to the public. So the appointments that were passed on October 31st of last year, any of you know anything about government or served on boards, there's a period, it's called a lame duck period. If you know that certain members aren't going to be on that board anymore, which we knew that Councilman Piazza and Councilman Wyatt weren't going to be on the board the next year, regardless of the outcome of the election. So that was one of my main reasons that I think that we need to do that resolution, because you always should wait to the next year till new people are put on the board to do appointments or contracts of those sorts. So just want to put that on the record. That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to start over and let these same people that were appointed, they have the right to put interest in, and they very well could be picked for this committee at Estelle. So I just wanted to state that for the record, Council President.
Any other councilman under new business? Seeing none. Any motions? Any public petitions? At this time, anyone in the public, if you want to talk, now's your time to talk, because some people don't understand that. And then as we're going to adjourn and stint there, I give everyone the opportunity to talk, and I don't even have a time limit. If you're saying something that's important, I'm going to listen to you. That's why we voted in, to listen to the public and listen to our people. Dave, you up again? I'm up?
Oh, I didn't want to jump the gun.
Oh, go ahead. We got a handout? Okay, we got a handout here.
Well, first of all, Council, thank you for letting me speak again. My name is David Morissette, and again, address is redacted. So, bear with me a second. Okay, so I do want to let you know that I think, I come up here and complain about things. 90-95% of what you guys do, I think you're doing a great job, and you'll continue doing a great job. It keeps the town functioning and moving forward. And I do have a request tonight. We're all doing well here at the council meeting. When we go home tonight, we don't have to worry and wonder if we're going to be alive tomorrow morning. It's not something that is at the forefront of our mind. However, not everybody is as fortunate. And right now, there is a crisis in Ukraine. Russia, in 2018, attacked Ukraine. And for some crazy reason, we're just having trouble getting help to Ukraine. I know people who have been traveling in Europe lately, and the Europeans are befuddled and bewildered as to what is happening in the United States. You, Council, have the opportunity to make a statement tonight. I have before you a referendum, or a resolution, in support of Ukraine and urgency for continued funding. I'm asking for a motion and a second, and I'm asking for council to pass this resolution. In keeping with protocol, if there is a motion and a second, of course, Council President Marino will read the resolution in case anybody wishes to come up and make a comment on the resolution, since it was not on the agenda at the beginning of the meeting. I thank you very much, Council, for the opportunity to speak and present this. Thank you.
Thank you, David. First of all, Dave, my personal reasons I'll have to hold off. I want the attorney. Can we put this on tonight? I'll gladly read it.
Well, I'd recommend not putting it on tonight, not because of the subject matter, just because we don't want to get in the habit of non-council members walking on resolutions and asking the governing body to endorse them at that moment. I think we're at the public petition time right now. Certainly if one of the council members up here wishes to do this during council open time, that's fine. But at this moment in public petitions, I would say no.
Okay, so public petitions is not the right place for the motion and second and the vote.
Correct.
Understood. Okay.
Council, has everyone had the opportune time to read it? In my opinion here as council president, I will follow the advice of the attorney. Okay, what my personal beliefs are, it's an agreement, but we have to do it by the book and by right. Any councilman have any questions on that?
My,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
my only comments, I know this is a big issue in the international field. This is way beyond our scope as a small town council. I mean, we should be focused on filling the potholes in the streets, making Phillipsburg affordable. So I'm very sympathetic towards what's going on out there. It's just so far beyond our scope. If this comes up for a vote, and not to mention, I am nowhere near fully educated enough on the complexities of international politics of the war on Ukraine to make a solid vote on this. So I'm going to be fully transparent that if this vote comes up, I'm abstaining. I just don't believe it's in our scope, and it's a very complicated international conflict going on that 5 council members and a mayor really shouldn't be taking a stance on.
Any other input from council?
Yeah, I agree with Councilman Clark. I think, of course, my own personal belief is I support the Ukrainian people, and I think what we can do, we can contact our states, our senators, I mean our senators in Washington, our Congress people, and let them know how we feel about this, and that we do in fact support Ukraine, or at least I do, speaking for myself. So I agree, you know, Phillipsburg Town Council is for local issues, and even though I'm in support of this, you know, I don't think it's for council to decide.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yeah, I tend to agree with my colleagues on this. And I'm gonna reserve my comments on the war and national politics. I agree with Councilman Clark. I don't think this is the forum for that. I think we have to focus our energy on what's going on in our town and the problems ahead of us that we need to tackle here first. There's a lot of senators, there's a lot of people that can tackle this subject that's here. I do have sympathy for the people of Ukraine, but I'm not at liberty to talk on war here at a council meeting. Thank you.
Council Vice President Pauls?
I don't think there's really much left to say. I think everybody else has said it.
Okay, Dave, I thank you for bringing that up, but I always follow the advice of an attorney. He's way smarter than I am. So we'll just have to let it drop. That's why we have you, sir. Keep me out of Warren County Prison. I don't like jails. Okay, moving on. Council open time. We'll start with, Pat, you gotta laugh. What's what? No more comment. But we did public petitions.
We're just taking more.
You want another one? Okay, go ahead. What do you got, John?
Yeah, I'm Joe Minor. And in the past, I have strongly encouraged the council to stay out of national matters with the same arguments I just heard from all 5 of you. So it's quite a departure. But sometimes, when faced with the mass execution of masses of people, and an understanding that 70% of our country wants us to do what has gotten to be impossible, and when this life-death thing is happening, and there is a demand for the public to speak up so that basically one national congressman change his mind. This is not your run-of-the-mill everyday thing. This is a blood and guts moment. This is a place for your church and your soul. I hope that between now and with time, that you reconsider. But I would ask that you make one adjustment to this. You must take the politics out of this issue. The last line should not refer to President Biden and Vice President Harris. It should instead be amended to refer to "we the people of Phillipsburg in support of the people of the United States." Please consider again. You have a week to think about it. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Okay. Oh, didn't see it, Bill. Two more.
I'll be brief and by no means have that kind of weight behind what I'm going to say. I want to talk about the Phillipsburg Downtown Association, and I want to make it clear for everyone on the council as well. We have a great new liaison to work with the PDA, President of Council, Ms. Marino. It is for the entire town of Phillipsburg, so as you find people that are looking for business assistance, advocacy, education, networking, we do meet on the third Wednesdays at 5:30. We are in the Union train station, but we're kind of hungover from the holidays, so we're meeting at Rocco's. We have a new website that launched yesterday, phillipsburgdowntown.org. So again, if anybody's interested from the council, if you hear from somebody looking for work or to help in business, we'd love to have them. I just dropped my card off at Dunkin' Donuts on my way here and would ask you to continue to share that. We'd look forward to it. We have about 70 members, and I'm trying to get to 100. So thanks a lot. Oh, I'm Bill Benz.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks.
Okay, sir?
How's it going, everybody? My name's Tom Mishak. I'm a part of the community here. I grew up here. This is Roseanne. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Warren County Warhawks. It was a football team that was started a while back, about a year and a half ago, from a guy named Isaiah Korn. That being said, he has moved away, and Roseanne and I are looking to continue the Warhawks. We're going to rebrand it, make it a new name, because some things have happened with the Warhawks and stuff like that. But we just came here to try to get the town's support with that. The type of football we do is D1 competitive football. It's not your local rec football and stuff like that. We just recently went to Atlanta, Detroit, and the events like that, Albany, the events like that, we had 108 teams there. And that's family members that came with them as well. So with that being said, we would like to try to do something with the town here to where we can bring that type of event here, you know what I mean, to, help with the town, the high school sports, I'm not too good with this kind of stuff, so it's my first time ever here, something like this, sorry. But we're just looking for support. More kids, you know what I mean? I grew up here in this town playing sports, and ever since I was young, there's been Powell, Firthtown, Still Hill, all of that. It's now diminishing. We only have one team left. So I'm looking to keep that door open to more kids, because our type of football, it doesn't limit you just to weight. It goes by age. So any kid could play, and we're looking to help them kids. That way, for when they do get to high school, they have the knowledge to play safely and everything like that. Learn what they're doing before they go into something as competitive as the high school, So with that being said, we're just looking for the town's support and looking for more kids, if anybody knows.
And in the past, the Warhawks definitely ruffled a lot of feathers. Like I said, we're rebranding, looking to possibly change the name because it might be associated with some negativity, and we don't want that any further. And in the past, a lot of people have had some harsh things to say because they felt that we were taking away from the local rec teams. And in that process, we have sympathized with that, and along with the rebranding comes with us not offering season play. So we would do spring football, summer. We would refrain from those rec times, mainly September, October. That way we're not taking away from Steel Hill, Pohat, Lopat, at the Warren County Midget Football League. But still keeping these kids active. There are a lot of kids that love football that want to play year round and haven't had that avenue. I've been with the Warhawks since day one. And one thing that I will say that I think everyone should be aware of is we had a kid that played with us. He was over the weight limit all through rec. He was unable to play. At 9 years old or 8 years old, they wanted him to play on the varsity level because of his weight. And that's not safe. At the end of the day, it's not. That kid didn't have a chance to play again until he was 13 years old. And now he's starting on the line for a high school. and on varsity. But he had that opportunity to play with us for the first time in X amount of years and actually get to hit in pads and know what it was like. And I think that for the safety of kids, it is important to know. We will take them and travel, and that's also nice too, you know. So I just wanted to make that, you know, clear for you guys, and if you guys had any questions, because I'm sure, you know, the name has gotten around town, and we just want to alleviate any thoughts or any ill will or intentions that might have happened in the past.
And also, with that being said, if there's anything like that, somebody could point us in the right direction with maybe the town helping us. We are currently struggling to get helmets and new uniforms due to the fact that the person that was with us took all of our stuff and went to a whole nother state with it. So, yeah.
Well, certainly, thank you for taking your interest in the kids of Phillipsburg. But as a council president, we're powerless to do anything to help you. Maybe you could call the rec director and see what they have available.
I think we're meeting.
Yeah, is that Mr. Knoll?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to be meeting with him tomorrow.
He's a good guy. I think he'll direct you in the right way.
Okay.
And good luck to your outfit.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Anyone else? Any questions? Anybody want to ask them? Name, please.
Kelly. I live in Phillipsburg. I know some of the faces in here. So I'm just going to be, I only can be 3 minutes. I always have to remind myself of that because I talk a lot. So my son played for the Warhawks this last year, and I know when I had issues, I came to you and you clarified them and you made me feel more confident in everything that was being said, and so I would support it. So you can reach out to me and we can figure out something. I'll be somebody that can try to help the best way I can. But the reason why I'm up here is because I joined a committee in town, some of the people's faces I've seen here that I know, and it's for like development of events and things like that, and I'm new at that, so I don't really know all the terminology to use yet, I'm learning it. But I'm here to let any of the residents know that every first Tuesday of the month, you can go to Rocco's and you could speak about ideas, issues. It's not like an arguing match, it's for people to come together. Norwest Cap is helping run this, and speak how you feel. Not everybody, you know, in the community can make it to here, so it would be nice to be able to have the residents come out and meet up together at a local spot that everybody should be familiar with where Rocco's is. It's by Chappelle Park, across the street. A lot of events are done there, so people come out. You know, if you don't know where it's at, Google it or ask a friend. But you can come out and you can express anything that you want to be brought into the town, changes in the town, issues that you're having, stuff like that. It's where the residents can come out and speak and be heard more like, you know, how you guys are doing this here. It's just a little bit designed more for the residents to come out. So that's all I have to say.
What time is it on Tuesdays?
Oh, I'm sorry. 5:30 p.m. every first Tuesday of the month. Yeah, see, I'm learning around the details. But I made a live on Facebook. I will do it again. And I will share it in local rooms because a lot of people viewed it. A lot of people said they were going to be coming out. So the feedback is good. So I'm getting off here now.
Thank you, Kelly. Anyone else from the public? Sir, your name.
Randy Piazza, Senior. Just one little comment. I've been hearing a lot of people tonight saying about groups, you know, having people, young people getting involved. Maybe we can see if we can restart block watcher groups, and that might help. They've been let go for the last few years, so maybe we've got a lot of new young people here in town with families. Maybe we can start one up again. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? I'm looking all over. Last shot. All right. And if I was a corporate president, I just lost my $500,000 job, Joe. Thanks.
Did you?
Yeah. Council. You just got council open time.
Kelly wants to
Kelly,
speak
yeah.
again.
Can I? Yeah,
we'll give you another minute.
I just have a question. I don't know who to ask about this. So somebody actually comes here and like helps do something with the seniors, the crafts and stuff during the day. They said that they only have transportation from one part of Phillipsburg. So who would you contact to see if they can get it on South Main Street for the seniors down there?
We'll relay that to you, to the senior board. I'll personally do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll get back to you. Okay, last call, and it's not a bar room, no more. All right, moving on.
What? Go again?
Councilman Skirbo, open time?
Sure. I just want to make some comments on the resolution 2024-39. I want to actually thank my colleague, Councilman Lee Clark. He brought this up last meeting. I made a motion to remove Needler Avenue in the future for the past remarks of Mayor Needler. I think this was great that we could all come together on this issue. And I just want to thank my fellow council people here for the support of that resolution. Thank you.
Councilwoman Pauls?
I'll tell you, tonight it was really heartwarming to see the people coming forward with all the great ideas with recreation for all ages. I want to thank you very much. We're going in the right direction.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes, on the 26th, New Jersey, or Inside of New Jersey, came out with their African American List of Honor for Black History Month. And I just want to make everyone aware that our very own Councilman Lee Clark made the list.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
He came in at number 87. I thought he should have been way higher.
Cory Booker came in number 1 by 86.
There you go, Lee. I told you not to run up against him.
It was also announced today that the Haas family, through retired NASCAR driver Kevin Harvick, are contributing $100,000 toward the McQueen Ripken Field. And also, $25,000 will be coming from the Rotary Club. So we're getting closer and closer to fulfilling our end of the deal here. I've been in contact with Chuck Brady from the Ripken Foundation. He will be in attendance at one of the council meetings next month to give an update to everybody as to where we stand on that. I wanted to congratulate the Phillipsburg basketball team and the boys and the girls for the great run they had this winter. They lost a heartbreaking game the other night, and they broke all kinds of records this year for basketball, and they had a great season. And lastly, there will be 7 Phillipsburg wrestlers trying to win a state title in Atlantic City beginning tomorrow. Anybody who can't make it to Atlantic City, they can follow it on nj.com. They will have the whole thing on free video or on Track Wrestling. So good luck to all those 7 wrestlers in Atlantic City. That's all I have.
Councilman Clark?
So first thing, I just want to share my excitement for this new gunshot technology, and I want to thank the chief for coming in and doing that presentation. I honestly believe that in order to keep up with criminality in the 21st century, we have to update our technology. And by having the right technology, it gives our officers the fighting chance against criminality in our streets. So I think this is a bold step forward, and if done right, we can become a trailblazer for other cities who are experiencing the same problems and the same ilks that we are. So I'm very hopeful about this, and I think we have a great staff of officers behind this to push it forward. So I just want to thank the chief for his presentation tonight. Second, it was a very heartwarming event today to see the acknowledgement of Black History Month. I know we're on, was it the 29th, 28th?
28th.
Second last day, but I think this was a great thing, and I hope that the reporters here tonight report on this. It's great positive information that shows the town of Phillipsburg in a bright, diverse light to the rest of the towns here in the state. It shows that we're growing in diversity in both our leadership and our constituency. So please take a bold action on writing something positive about that, because quite frankly, I think every month should be Black History Month, because Black history is Phillipsburg history. So thank y'all for those proclamations and supporting folks. Cal Ripken Field was already shared, so thank you, Councilman Kennedy, for sharing that. And I just want to also thank Councilman Skirbo for his remarks. We did great work regarding Needler Avenue, and I hope that we can continue to progress on that initiative as time goes on. It's a slow process, but a process that can be done nonetheless. And then finally, this is kind of a curveball, but as we exit February, we're now entering into March. So there are two things I want to highlight. Obviously, Women's History Month. So let's give the same amount of excitement to Women's History Month that we did with Black History Month, because there's a lot of strong women in this town that can be recognized, that should be highlighted, and I think we can do that non-politically. Both Democrat, Republican, and Independent should be recognized. And then finally, St. Patrick's Day. We always have our annual flag raising. I was just wondering if that would be announced publicly. I've had a couple of people ask me when it was going to be. It's usually on St. Patrick's Day, but if we could have like a town announcement of when and where.
Yeah, Audra Frank, as you know, is a member of the Kiwanis. She's working on a, much like Easton had with their the heart cutout, she's doing a shamrock cutout. She's working on different patterns. I don't know where she is in the process, so I don't want to step on her toes and, you know, before she announces anything. It should be out in the next day or two, she told me, just today.
Okay.
So I don't have every detail, but as soon as I get it, I'll distribute it to council and we can put it out publicly.
All right, thank you. That's all.
That's all. Number one, I want to thank the former councilman, Mr. Piaz, who's the mayor now, because we pushed for additional police officers. I went and spoke to the prosecutor's office. We got 2 canines. Even though I'm not a cop, I have no experience in police. But my family does. They have history from 1967. So anything we can do to make it a safer town. If you've ever been in sales, you have to have a town that's clean, which we have to do is starting cleanup. I do have some people that are going to start doing projects of cleaning up the downtown area. They're volunteering to do it. It's like anything else. If it doesn't look good, nobody wants to invest. And you can say, well, a lot of people are investing. They are, but we've got to clean it up. And we're going to clean up a mess here. We're getting some complaints about what we have with the municipal building. Now, that's not this present mayor's fault or this council's fault. That's over 5 years. I'm going to just recap it. At this time, we're working towards completion by March 15th. Now they have to go to a full evaluation of the roof in order to stabilize that building and prevent further water intrusion. Once that abatement is done, then they'll engage in a full-service architecture engineering firm to fully evaluate the feasibility of moving all town operations. Does not say they're going to move them back yet. You got a lot of more work over there. I believe the last meeting we had someone report that they were still finding mold. Now I'm going to go on a personal note. I know personal people that worked in that city hall that ended up with cancer, especially a lot of the police officers, 2 of them being my brothers. So I will not vote for that building for anything until we have 100% that there's no mold and there's no asbestos or anything like that. I will not endanger anyone to go back to a building that's not safe until whoever tells me it's safe will back it by 100%. To those who don't like that statement, so be it. To those who had families in there that suffered from cancer or died, it means a lot to me. And with that, motion to adjourn. There will be no executive session.
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
All in favor, Council President?
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good, safe